What's going on, fellow Clashers, and welcome to my Legend League guide. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips and tricks on how to succeed in Legend League. So my first piece of advice is to attack often. Doing this, especially right as the new league starts, will set you ahead of the curve for everyone else. I recommend using these green training potions. They are very helpful, especially early on. As you see here, if you look at the top players in the world, they all have a lot of attacks in order to get to the 6,000 trophy range. You'll see them all in the 100s. At the very least, some are even pushing 200. This is just one of those things that's required. If you want to really trophy push in Legend League, at least with how it's set up currently. My next piece of advice is regarding the cloud wait time. As I'm sure you guys know, it takes a while to find a base in Legend League. If you're at about 5,000 to 5,250 trophies, it only takes about 15 minutes. But as you go higher and higher, if you're less than 5,500 trophies, it'll take about 30 minutes. And if you're above 5,000 to 6,000, it will probably take anywhere from 30 minutes to, I've even heard of people waiting multiple hours. Now there are a few things you can do to make this easier. My first little bit of advice is to turn on sound effects, which you go click on the gearboxes in the bottom right hand corner, and then you go to sound effects and turn that on. Doing so, when you do find a base, it will make a like sword clashing noise, and you can use that to know that you have found a base. If you're usually, what I usually do is I'll turn my volume on, go do something else, watch Netflix, do my laundry, whatever the case may be. And then once you hear that noise, you just attack real quick for 2 minutes. And then it's not like you're just waiting around doing nothing for 30 minutes to find a base to attack. Some other pieces of advice are to start a second account in Clash and use your iPad or a second phone to play while you're waiting in the clouds. You can do that here by going to the Supercell ID, logging out, and then you can do login with Supercell ID, or if you want to start a new one, you can just do play without Supercell ID, and then you can click on your other account. One thing to make sure of, though, is that you are signed in on different accounts on, say, your iPad, for example, versus your phone, because it will log you out if you try to log into the same account twice. My next piece of advice is to create a trap base. As you can see here, I have all my traps laid right out on the side. A well-designed trap base that will avoid getting 3-starred and also ideally cause people to no-star you every so often if they attack from the side you put the trap at. My next bit of advice is to use shields. As you can see now, I currently have a shield, but if this is the most helpful piece of advice that I have learned recently, is if you use these 2 and 1 day shields and you really save up your gems and then pick a certain month, or maybe you have a lot of free time in 1 month to really attack often, you can use these shields and it will just prevent you from getting attacked that much more. You can still attack with a shield and you'll just lose 3 hours. So, say you have a 24-hour shield, you attack, you'll just have 21 hours, and this, every time you attack, it will go up 1 hour, but it is still preventing you from being attacked that much more over the course of an entire season. As you see, the cooldown for a 2-day shield is 10 days, but that still means you can use this 2-day shield 3 times in a season, and same with the 1-day shield. You can use it 6 times in one season because each season is 30 days. And then you can use these 2-hour guards like once a day. So if you're, just getting home from work, for example, and want to do a lot of attacks, you can use this 2-hour guard, because when you do have a guard, you can attack and it won't um, lower your inability to get attacked like a shield does, which is nice, obviously. Yeah, so that's about everything I have for you guys on my Legend League guide. If you have any questions or comments about it, feel free to let me know. This season I have not been as active, but last season I really started to push, and as you can see here, I was 7,570 in the world, which was pretty successful for me. I spent a lot of time though, honestly, and you need to be prepared for that if you want to succeed in Legend League. I took this season off to kind of replenish my gems, and just because I was honestly a little sick of attacking so often. In my opinion, you cannot do Legend League all the time unless maybe you have the proper job for it, but it does get tiring waiting on the clouds sometimes, but it's one of those things you gotta do with how they have it set up now. Thanks again for coming by and watching my video. Catch you guys later.